Welcome to League Queens.
I'm Coach Jane Foreman from Team Foreman Tennis and the Team Foreman Experience.
And I'm Kim Wanowich from Rallies and Rackets and lifelong league player myself.
Together, we bring you the coach and player perspective on everything from strategy and court drama
to the mental game, the wins, the losses, and all the laughs in between.
This is League Queens.
Let's play. All right. How you doing, Jane?
I'm doing awesome. How about you, Kim?
I'm doing really good. I'm in a full-fledged snowstorm, stuck in the house.
Well, we're getting an unusually cold couple days coming here, and I'm bracing myself for it.
Well, it's got to get cold where you are because it's like 17, and we're in North Carolina, not the North Pole, and I don't know what's happening.
As a former Northerner, I can't take it anymore. So I came down to Florida for a reason, and that was one of them. Absolutely.
And we look cute. For those that are seeing us, we both have our matching League Queen hats. You look awesome.
I love my League Queen hats. If you guys are a fan of our podcast, which I hope you are or will be or
Close up.
whatever, you can purchase the League Queen cap from Rallies and Rackets.
That's right.
Fun little shop. And if you're not watching this, you don't know, you can purchase these little things in my hands that I'm holding I'm going to use them as hand warmers now.
Don't they feel good in your hand?
Yeah, they're like big, dirty, hairy tennis balls.
They're not big, dirty, hairy. They're soft and fuzzy, fluffy. They feel so good. Tennis balls. Happy birthday. I sent Jane some birthday presents. If you guys knew last time we were talking, it was her birthday. I sent you some birthday presents. I hope you love them. I know you don't love the fuzzies. Give them away.
I love them. I can't stop holding them in my hands. So
see, now you see what all the cute little things are all about. You just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
I'm turning a corner.
There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for thank you for this.
I love it. You're welcome. I loved sending it. So, okay, guys, we have such a fun conversation to talk about today. I always watch your videos, Jane, and there's something that you always say in your videos. Well, I guess there's three things you always say in your videos. One is you say never da 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 da, whatever the thing that your players have done wrong, do this, insert, for the rest of your life in tennis. And you also say always, which is the thing you want your players to do, insert, for the rest of your life in tennis. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Tell us, what are those things to always do in tennis, and the things that your players are killing you with that you should never do in tennis for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah, like this came up. First of all, I have no idea what comes out of my mouth on the court. So some things are and then they really start to resonate and they stick. And this is one of them because I think I coach on shock therapy, and as one way to put it. So when there's certain tactics that you do on the court or certain movements that I love, I always try to say always do that, whatever. And that's what we're going to talk about, or never. And then, kind of adding the rest of your life, it kind of puts an exclamation on it. And I just think that it helps you remember, instead of just like a coach saying, hey, when you come into net, don't go over there. And they're like, okay, thanks. The way I do it, I think I'm making it like an indelible ink into your soul. I wanna make it so you'll just remember forever for the rest of your life.
I think it works. When I watch your videos, I am not going to forget when you add for the rest of your life in tennis.
I know
it is.
I know
like you said,
works.
an exclamation point. It's an exclamation point. Jane point. A Jane It's a Jane exclamation point.
Oh, I like that. There you go. That's we can make that part of being formanized.
Yeah.
So let's get started with some always and nevers, and they're gonna kind of be mixed in, and then we can discuss it. And then I wanna see, Kim, how this applies to you. You're our rec player. You're our player that we're appealing to and our demographic of watching this podcast of doing all these tactics. So here's my first one. Never come to net if you've hit to the net person for the rest of your life. Because, and let me explain to you why. Because if you hit up to the net person is hitting down on you and you're in poor court position, and just an average volley becomes a winner.
Right.
So they're hitting down on you.
Right.
Why would you come forward? I call that walking into fire.
Yeah.
So I say, stay away. Don't come in. Now, these are the questions that I'm going to ask you, okay?
Okay.
Or with this always, because this is the questions I get from rec players. Well, they hit a shortish, kind of shorter ball, and I was drawn in. How do I avoid coming into net? So, Kim, why do you come to net if maybe you have to take a few steps up and your momentum's coming forward? Why do you come into net after that?
I think exactly what you just said. I think I'm doing exactly what you're telling people not to do. I'm going with momentum. We're always told when you start going, don't just stop. You keep going forward with it with the momentum. So I don't even think I realize I'm also doing exactly what you're saying to never ever do for the rest of your life.
So, what should you do in that respect? Because
Yeah.
you're running kind of to a
So
ball
they've
that
hit a short
maybe
ball and
right.
you're running in. Are you saying back up?
I'm saying stop dead in your track.
Yep.
Let's see what kind of shot you can get off of it. Okay. If it's a good shot, like low to them, or if you put them on the defense somehow. So we're assuming that the other team is into net, or if they do have one up and one back and you've hit the ball away from the net person, come on in. But if they have two people into net, like how I like and how I teach,
Mm-hmm.
the likelihood of you hitting to the net person is very high. So I say stop dead in your track.
Yep.
Let's see your shot first because you might be able to defend it.
Yeah.
And then if you can take a breath and get another breath of life, start backing up. Because if there's two people at net, two people should be back.
That's right. So
Okay.
I totally get what you're saying is hang on a second, see your shot, think, because a lot of times in answer to your question, I guess the real answer is we get on the court and we stop thinking because we're just like,
Well, you
so you
really
got to
it's
think and determine where to go versus just automatically going.
well, to talk about that, it's very difficult to just stop and think. I mean,
Yeah.
these things, the more you practice it, the more it becomes instincts, and that's how I really want you to play. I don't want you to have to think because really thinking out there cripples you because it slows you down. So the more that you can understand these little always and nevers and tactics, and
Yeah.
the more you practice
The more you
them,
Of
the
course. Of
more that
course.
you'll have instincts.
Of course.
Okay, so
I love that.
within the next line, okay, I'm going to give you an always. So when your partner is hitting a volley, let's say I'm going to give you a scenario. Your opponent's hit a return of serve to the net person and you're the server. Always go to net while your opponent's hitting that volley. So now I call this doubling down on the pressure on your opponents.
That's right.
So and you don't want to leave a half a court open when your partner is hitting a volley, you are in control. They've hit to you, you volley it, your partner should be in to close off that side of the court and double down on the pressure.
Right. Right. So, okay.
So so I can tell you that's a very difficult one to get. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you as a player, do you see what I'm saying? Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. For our listeners, just again, your partner hits the volley. Go through it one more time.
So your partner gets a volley, whatever scenario, whether it's in the middle of a point.
Yep.
I was just using that as an example. Your opponent's hit to your partner who's at the net.
Okay.
Instead of you just standing there watching the point and looking at your partner hit the volley, feel the fact that you are taking control 100% by you coming into net
Yeah.
to closing that side of the court.
That's right. Now we're both applying pressure
Now you're
instead
both
of your
in. Right. Now you're both in where I want you to be, which is the best spot to be in.
Okay, right. So here's my question to that. If you both move in, I know people are thinking this because this happens to us all the time. We both move in. How are we protecting the you know what?
So
You know what I'm saying.
right. So
The
here's the
LOB is
situation.
coming, the LOB. What are we
So
doing?
right. So yes, if but the number one way people get lobbed is if the net person hits to the person on the baseline.
Yes.
That's the number one cause of getting lobbed. So
Yes.
if I mean, even if you didn't recognize it, but you have to recognize that a lob is coming back, and this is an awareness. So you have to react to that. So if you are coming into net because your partner's hitting a volley, if the ball is going to the baseline, you just can't get you. First of all, you should be staggered anyway. You just
Yeah.
can't close in that much.
You just don't go all the way in.
You just can't close. You can't go all the way from the baseline in closing up to the net.
Right.
So maybe the net person's up there. So you're just going to be in a very staggered position.
Like it.
Okay. So next. Never.
Okay.
I just gave you an always. I want to bounce off of each other. Never lob from the middle of the court for the rest of your life. Okay. Now understand what I keep on saying for the rest of life. There's always exceptions to the
Right.
rules,
Right.
but this is for part entertainment and part effect.
Right.
There's Hail Mary situations. So I say never lob from the middle of the court because try to understand. You're now in the middle of the court, which is an aggressive part of the court where you're really taking control. It's you're now moving in and you want to keep hitting down on your opponents so they can hit up to you. If you lob from the middle of the court, you're lobbing to a very small portion of the court, so
Mhm.
you don't have that much room to lob to. You're already halfway in, so if you, excuse my language, shit the bed and hit a terrible shot, you're getting mowed over with an overhead or a volley,
Yes.
and you're taking an offensive shot away from you.
Yep.
As much, Kim, as you see that shot, right? As much as maybe there's somebody that's close to the net and you're like, "Oh, all I have to do is lob." How tempting is that? Do you lob from the middle of the court?
Don't think I do, but I don't wanna say that because then I'm gonna go play next week and be like, "I just did what she said not to." But
But do you
I'm
think do you
thinking
think in
if
terms of that? Yeah, do you
I
think in
think if
terms?
I do, it's all of a sudden like a safety feeling. Like, I'm just gonna not be aggressive, and it's a safety, like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do this instead of being aggressive."
Right, can you or you're afraid to miss.
You're afraid to miss. I
Right,
if now I'm gonna have to pay attention to if I do that, to be honest.
right, so let me ask you
So I
another
probably do.
question.
I
Do
think it's
you
an afraid to miss.
do you realize that, um, when you do lob from the middle of the court, that you are breathing life into your opponents?
Yeah.
Do you
"Here,
realize
take this one."
I call it resuscitate you resuscitate your opponents. You're giving your opponents CPR by lobbing from the middle of the court because they have a chance to get it back.
Yeah.
Okay,
But you're right there and could have taken their ball out or hit it at the opponent's feet, and you choose to be like, "Ah, here, I'll just do this for safety."
okay.
Yeah.
Here's so
Not
that
anymore. Not anymore.
I love that. I love that one. I'm gonna give you a always. I'm gonna give you two always and then a never and then a never. Okay. When you lob over the net person's head, always for the rest of your life, come to net.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's my first always.
Always.
Okay. And here's my second always part two that goes with that. When you're the person who gets lobbed, okay, and you're about to switch. When you get lobbed and you have to switch sides because
Yep.
you just got lobbed,
Yep.
always switch and go back all the way to the baseline
Yes.
for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Understand. So let's talk about the part A.
Okay,
When you
go
lob
A
over the
first.
net, when you lob over the net person's head, okay, you're now taking control. You say your partner's up to net. You understand that a lob is coming back.
Mhm.
So I would like this to happen. I would like your partner who's up at net to be in close to look for a weak ball. And I'd like you to be the one who's staggered around maybe a foot behind the service line in
Yep.
case they lob back.
So you end it instead of going back and forth.
Yeah,
with this nonsense.
you absolutely that's the whole idea of these tactics is for
Yeah,
you to end the point sooner.
end it.
Yeah. So that does that. Let me ask you a question as my you're my dummy today.
Okay.
You're my test
You're
dummy.
making my brain work today because I'm really
Yeah,
thinking through these
this
I
is what a
love this.
clinic is like.
Yeah,
This is what the
I'm
people
thinking.
say. This is what the people say when they come to
Yeah,
clinic. They go, "You're making my brain exhausted."
you are. Guys, when you're listening to this, you like close your eyes and picture this so you can really grasp all this information because this is amazing information. You're making me think.
So, do you understand that if you lobbed the net person and if you don't come into net, do you understand that it's that shot that you just hit is null and void?
Yeah.
Because all you're doing now is doing a lob to a lob.
Yeah, now we're just doing a lob to a lob. And
So
you're
that's it.
waiting for their lob to get better. And then
You
you're
know,
like,
I mean,
shit, it went over
that's all
me
you
or whatever.
that's all you got out of that shot, you know, and we'll do a couple things at the end, but you have to react properly to that shot. Part B to my always, when you switch, coaches tell you to switch and go to the service line.
Ugh.
And I tell you that that's not good enough. I'm telling you, you listen to the saying, you always have to think the worst from your partner. So if you switch and you're thinking the worst from your partner, you're going to switch and go back to the baseline because your partner may just pop that ball up to the net people.
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
So you have to be all the way back to defend the shot.
Yep,
Does that make
yep,
sense?
absolutely.
Okay, so at your level or your coaches, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus because
Yep,
I hear
yep.
this all the time. I'm just asking you, when you have to switch, when the lob goes over your head, where do you go? You stay up.
If I'm the net person
If you're
or
the
if
net
I'm the
person,
baseline person.
no. If you're the net person
If
and
I'm the net person,
you just got lobbed and you have to switch, where do you go? Where do you go on the court? Do you just stay up at net because you just make a clear switch across?
no, I'm coming back to like the service line.
Just like I said, to
Yes,
just like I
yes.
said, not to.
I see what you're saying. You're saying when I'm the net person and we switch, as a net player, I come all the way back.
You have to go back to the baseline, Kim.
Yes, 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 because they're if whatever they get, my only
You
prayer is the baseline. I'm with you
you
now.
you
I
are
did a bad
still
job of visualizing that one. Okay.
maybe I just talked too long, but you literally, when you just go to the service line, you're literally just a target for
Yeah, you're
your
just a target at
opponents.
your feet. I get you.
So, but that's what I'm telling you. I don't understand what coaches think that you can defend from there. And I'm saying, why put
So
yourselves in that
both of
predicament?
you, when you switch, now you both need to be back. That's right.
Correct. Okay.
That's right with you. I was thinking you meant the baseline,
The
but
baseline person's back already.
the baseline player's back already. I got lost on that one. Yes.
Okay.
So both of you, the lob goes over you. Both of you need to, and you need to hightail it back because
Yep.
it's coming at you. Okay.
Sounds
Sorry
good.
if I messed up that whole scenario for you, but I'm with you.
No, I don't think you messed it up. I think actually you made it good because you were having trouble, and this is how the everyday player,
Yep.
just like you,
Yep.
deals with this. But you're dealing with what your coaches are teaching you, and they're teaching you to switch and go to the service line, and that's not good enough
Yes.
to defend.
To defend, you got to get all the way back.
Okay.
And then you reset and everybody's back. And now you get yourself back in the point.
Yeah. Um.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. I got a couple more. One more. One or two more. Never let a lob bounce for the rest of your life.
Oh, that is so hard. I hear what you're saying. That is so hard.
Yeah. Well, I never said tennis was easy, but
Yeah,
try
guys,
to.
keep in mind everything that she's saying to do. It's not like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like, that's an easy one. I should just do it. Right. It doesn't mean any of this is easy. It means what we should be doing, what we need to get better at doing.
This is what you should be practicing.
This is what we should be practicing to do. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving you like,
Yeah.
these are like cliff notes to all my clinics,
Yeah. No,
like
I love it.
what we're talking about today. So when you don't let a lob bounce, you're diffusing the lob. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to hit a winner off that shot. You could simply you could be on the baseline. Somebody has a good high deep lob, and instead of you moving back and letting the lob bounce and having it
Uh-huh.
go high over your head or you're climbing the fence to get it, you're gonna hit a very weak ball back. Take 3, 4 steps in, take it in the air, just
So we're
diffuse it.
talking swinging volley here?
You have 2 choices.
Okay.
If it's kind of a floating shot and you know how to hit a swinging volley, you can hit more of an aggressive shot. And that's if it's maybe shorter in the court.
Okay.
But if it's deep, if it's high and deep near the baseline, there's no reason for you to have to back up and hit that, let it bounce. Hit it like a little punch volley, just get it back in the court.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
We all let it bounce,
Yeah.
and
And then you're lobbing back, and then they're lobbing back, and then you're
yep,
lobbing
and
back,
we're living in we yeah,
or it's too high and you can't get it.
mhm. And I do love a swinging volley, but it is something we all need to be practicing more because that is certainly not the easiest shot, and but it is one that I very much like, but I know still I need to practice it much more. That one's
Okay,
not easy.
good.
Yeah,
I've got
okay.
2
Never
more.
let it bounce.
I got 2 more.
Okay.
This one is kind of a weird one that I say because people don't realize it. When maybe there's 2 up, or even if there's 1 up, 1 back. First of all, when there's 1 up, 1 back, which is probably the most common format that you see probably yourself in, Kim,
Yep.
and most players, there's absolutely no reason to lob cross court.
Okay, I see people doing that cross court corner shot.
There's I say never lob cross court for the rest of your life. And I'm going to tell you why. If there's 2 up, for instance, and you want to lob, always lob down the line. Because even if somebody's coming into net, if you feel somebody coming into net and they're coming from the baseline and there's a person up at net and you want to lob, they're only getting into somewhere around the service line
Yep.
as the approacher. If you lob cross court, you're basically hitting the ball to them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number 1. So number 2, if you lob cross court, you run out of angle. So it's a lot harder to lob cross court. I always say lob down the line. The net person is generally closer to the net, and
So you're
I
gonna
feel
pass them. So you're
so
gonna
I
have a better chance of passing them.
and if somebody's coming in, then they can't get it. I just think that
Yeah.
lobbing down the
Okay.
line is better.
Love it.
Okay. So
I'm
that's
not a big lobber, so don't ask me what I normally do.
okay.
I'm not a
But
big
that's an
lobber to answer
unusual
that,
one to
but that's a
the
good one.
visual. Yeah.
If I'm gonna lob, now I know I'm gonna go down the line. I love
And
it.
I'm going to end with always, and this is a tough one for people to swallow. Okay. And always, when there's 2 people up at net, always have 2 people back. So if you are caught in a 1 up, 1 back situation, okay, when 2 people are up at net, for instance, I'll give you the scenario. You're the serving side
Yep.
and your returners hit the return and they come to net.
Both of them.
Both of them. That's how that's what I love to teach people to do.
Right.
And now you find yourself with your partner kind of backed up a little bit and you're on the baseline and there's 2 people on the opposite
Coming in.
side,
Yep.
right? I want the person who is backed up a little bit from the net to come all the way back to the baseline.
Oh, so when you are playing that aggressive team and they're both coming in, you need to both go back. Otherwise, right, your net partner's getting killed.
Killed. Always for the
Killed
rest of your
for the
life.
rest of your life. Yeah.
When there's 2 up, 2 have to be back.
2 have to be back so you can defend the what's coming at you.
Exactly. And then maybe 1 shot gets you and your partner back in.
Back in, it doesn't mean staying back. It
Right.
means getting back so you can get back in the point.
So,
And then
right.
I love that. I think
So
that would have
all
helped me in a match this week.
yeah.
I think
So
that would have helped me.
if you guys can understand, and I think you know, if you can understand that all these always and nevers are a way to play offense and a way to play defense. And defense is equally important to offense. If you can't play defense, if you don't know how to play defense, you'll never be able to turn a point around to play offense. So when I'm working on all these tactics, that all these always and nevers tactics, it's to teach my players how to equally play defense.
Yeah, I love it. This was
Yeah.
so good, Jane. You really, first of all, guys, you're going to listen to this and then you need to rewind it and then you need to listen to it again because you really have to. You made me think today Jane, because you made me like, I'm
This
sitting
was
here and I
like
have to picture. Oh, wait, you meant I'm back. She's like, I got to visualize this. So it took me a second on some of them. These are the positions that we are all finding ourselves in.
can I make a suggestion also?
Yeah.
After our listeners listen to the podcast and you too, go back to a lot of my videos on Instagram and now you'll connect with them more
Mm-hmm.
because
Right.
this podcast was a heavy duty strategy session. I send this like when you come for a team forming experience, like a 2-day or 3-day intensive strategy boot camp. I send these cliff notes in our chat to my out of town guests,
Love it.
and that's how and so that they can. I call it, this is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Just like this podcast, this is the gift that keeps on giving.
I mean, this is so perfect because now it's recorded and no one has to take notes and everyone is going to be able to just keep listening. But you're right. Now, when we go watch your videos, we're going to be like, oh, they just did the thing that she said never do.
Right.
And now I'm picturing it better. I know exactly where you're coming from with this. So yeah, I think this is so, so helpful. And it also gives us all some things to practice swinging volleys, practice not letting that lob bounce, practice this when you're playing with your friends, practice both going back when the opponents are coming in. These are great, great strategies. So I love it. Guys, listen and then re-listen quickly before we go. I think we've talked about team form in tennis. Go watch your videos because yeah, you're now going to learn even more and you're going to follow it more when you see these.
You're getting formanized on the podcast.
You're getting formanized right here. And then I am getting to be the guinea pig who's
Yes.
in your videos and then trying to picture what you're saying and what I normally do, which
Awesome.
sometimes is right and sometimes I'm saying, "Wait, shit, I do that." So, helping me too. And then you're going to give me some things to make fun of in my videos. So guys, go to Rallies and Rackets and watch videos. Maybe some of this stuff will start to pop up and then get your cute gifts for your friends, your captains, your birthdays from Rallies and Rackets. And I think that'll do us. I'm gonna go brave the snow. Maybe. I might.
Hopefully not for the rest of your life.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully we can stop with this for the rest of our lives in North Carolina like it's New York outside. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. This was so fun.
Okay, stay warm, and we'll see you in our next podcast.
Yeah. We'll see you next time. And guys, don't forget to follow Lee Queen's podcast where we drop clips so you know what podcast is coming next and when it's being dropped. So don't forget Instagram Lee Queen's podcast. And thanks for listening. Share it with your friends and we'll see you next time.